got a first down in the second half. So we got to get that fixed.
What changed? Why did the offense kind of struggle with the goals?
Well, their DBs are sticky in coverage. They've got a good pass rush. That's usually a recipe for success. We just have to find a way to counter that.
If someone would have told you you would have gone 14 at 23 for 113 yards and just one touchdown, you guys would come here and win, what would you say?
Yeah, I'll take it. It would depend on how the film looked. So we'll watch it and try to get better.
Just for the defense to put that kind of a winning time performance on tape after everything that unfortunately didn't go their way last year, does that fire you up going into the marathon that starts now?
Yeah, it's a great start to the season. Great confidence builder for our team. Obviously, just like we want to improve, they're going to want to improve too on certain things. That's NFL football. So we'll watch the tape and we'll get better.
Last year, I felt like so often these type of games didn't go your way. The fact that the first one of the year it does go your way, you're able to get out of here with a win. Just how big is that for the team?
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Anytime you can win like this, you kind of steal one. So we stole one today, and we're going to have to be better.
How would you evaluate your performance?
We'll have to watch the tape. First half I thought I was pretty lights out. I thought I made some good throws in the second half, but we'll watch the tape and see.
Can you take us through that, the 3-sack sequence with like 9 minutes to go in the fourth?
Yeah, we called the play action, and Miles won on the edge, tried to step up, but he did a good job bending and running me down. Having a tough time remembering the second play, and then the third play, the third down. The pocket started to collapse a little bit. I kind of jumped over the line. Guy kind of grabbed my leg, so I just kind of tried to dive out of the end zone right there.
What went into the game plan that you guys were going to feed Chase Brown as much as you did, especially early on?
Yeah, these early games are always tough. You got to be able to establish the run. That's who we want to be on offense. We want to be able to run the ball. The first half it was great, and then second half all facets of the offense just weren't good enough. So we got to get better.
How frustrating is it knowing how good of a camp y'all had, how good you felt, and then just not have the offense click the way you wanted to, especially knowing what y'all want to accomplish?
Yeah, it was obviously frustrating at times, but we made enough plays to win, so it was good.
Joe, were you able to see in week one in this game the fruits of the labor of what you guys did in the preseason of wanting to get to that fast start of getting the reps you guys did?
Yeah, we scored a touchdown on 2 of our first 3 possessions. Went right down the field on the first one, scored a touchdown, put us in a good spot. And then we just got to find a way to make some adjustments to help some guys get open, try to find a way to complete balls, keep running the ball in the second half like we didn't do today.
So when you've obviously gone against this defense every day in practice, every day in training camp, what have you seen from them, in the last couple of months, knowing what they've gone through this offseason, this overhaul, that kind of made you confident that even though you guys weren't as crisp as you'd like to be, that they were still good, that you were confident they could still make the plays that they ended up making to get you guys the win? Yeah,
you can see it in practice, but practice doesn't matter at the end of the day. You can make as many plays in practice as you want, but if you go out there on Sunday and don't make any plays, then that's all that really matters. And they made big-time plays today in big spots. I thought they stopped the run and, put some pressure on Joe in some key spots. And then the 2 turnovers were just great plays by our guys.
At this point in your career, what's the balance that you find in celebrating a win, knowing, last couple of years you guys haven't started off the season the way that you have, but also not being happy and feeling the way you guys played on offense was not to your standard? What's that balance like?
Yeah, well, we celebrated in there. Now it's behind us. We'll watch the tape and we got to get better. So everybody on offense knows that the second half today was not good enough, and we'll address it.
Were you hoping to go for it on that 4th and 1 where you trying to catch them off?
You can't go for it in that spot. If you don't get it, you basically lose the game. And our defense was making plays at the time, so you just got to punt it and try to get them to make another play.
How's being in the league for as long as you've been in the league now, dealing with all the circumstances like ups and downs, help you kind of put a game like this in context, knowing what you want? How does it help you internalize kind of how the game played for you?
Yeah, we found a way to win. Like somebody said earlier in the press conference, we didn't win any of these games last year, and so usually when you can win a game like this, that's a recipe for success, and it means you're going to be a good team if you can find a lot of different ways to win, and we did today.
You lost Lucas pretty early on in the game. How did you feel like Dalton did
Yeah, I thought Dalton did great. He got here, middle of last week, so the operation was clean. We have a lot of different silent cadences, and I thought he handled it well. That right guard spot has to be a smart player, especially on the road, to handle all those cadences and then turn his head around and get a quick snapshot of the defense and then know what to do more quickly than everybody else because he's not looking at the defense. So credit to him for being ready. He's a veteran player. He knows what it takes, so I'm excited to keep playing with him.
Joe, what was the most difficult part about the Browns defense? Was it the front four? Was it the secondary? What made them tough?
It all works together. Their corners are two of the best in the league. I don't think any other team has a better tandem than they do, and then they do a good job figuring out ways to get their guy 95 in one-on-one situations and playing man coverage and being sticky, so you have to hold on to it a little longer, try to get guys open, and then by the time that happens, usually 95's there. So their whole scheme works together, and I have a lot of respect for them.
Now for talent, where do you put Miles in terms of just you play against him so much, but all players and positions, what do you feel like he brings?
It's tough to find anybody better than that guy.
I know you guys didn't have the explosiveness you did, but is there something you can take out of it from an offensive perspective of playing a clean game? You don't turn the ball over, you didn't have a lot of penalties in the second half. Is there something you can take away from that, saying like you did what you kind of had to do in an away environment in an away division game?
Yeah, that's how a lot of these early games play out. It's never clean. Obviously, we would have liked it to be more clean, and we would have liked to be explosive. But the first half was great. We scored touchdowns on 2 or 3 possessions, and if you can do that through the whole game, then you're going to be really happy with your performance. And we just weren't able to sustain that today.
Glad to get a win. I thought the defense did a great job rising up there on the last several possessions of the game. We weren't putting them in great spots, and they just rose up. They got 2 turnovers, so to be able to win the turnover battle the way that we did, that's a key stat in winning week 1 because we knew there was going to be adversity. There's always adversity week 1. There's always adversity when we play Cleveland. There's always adversity when we're on the road at Cleveland. It's never simple. And so for our guys, just to find a way to win it there at the end, proud of them. The best outcome of this game was 1-0. Forget about the stats, forget about the score, forget about how it all played out. The best outcome could have been was 1-0, and we're proud of that, and then we'll make some corrections and move forward.
The offense looked really good early in that first drive and kind of sputtered the rest of the game. Why couldn't you find that rhythm?
It's hard, and a lot of times it's just one play in a drive. If one play derails you and now you're behind the sticks a little bit, that plays into their hands. And so we had really great efficiency early on. And there's a play here or there, and there's some things I can do to put us in a better spot. So I think we're all going to be accountable to that on offense. We felt like there was opportunity there that we didn't fully take advantage of. There's opportunities where I could put us in a better position. So I look forward to correcting all that after a win. Is a lot easier.
Can you take us through the 3 straight sacks?
We play action on the first one, and I didn't see exactly how 95 got in there, but he did. And we're trying to account for him on every snap, and he just finds a way to win sometimes. And second play was very similar. I think they played Tampa, and they got us. And then the third play, that's a regret that I have, is on the 9-yard line, calling a deeper throw like that. Probably something just to get the ball out of our hands quicker. So we can save some space for the punt because it was a 3rd and really long in that situation.
What went into the decision to punt it there on the offense's last series, and then your thoughts on DJ's big play?
On the 4th and 1, you're saying? Yeah, it's our defense was playing really good at that moment, and they'd missed an extra point, so you know a little bit how they feel in a field goal. So that probably weighs into their decision making a little bit. So I just felt really good about kicking it away and letting our defense go get the win for us. And they did. DJ turned up with a huge pick. And those weren't easy turnovers. JB and DJ, both those were tough, off tip balls, and they went and got them, and grateful for that.
What do you feel like Jordan's pick in the 3rd really turned the game around for you? Because you had just come off a drive where they gained 4 third down conversions on your defense, but then Trey gets a sack and then Jordan gets that pick. How do you feel like that was kind of the turning point?
It's huge. Again, week 1, the turnover battle is critical. And it comes down to these 1-score games, and usually you're going to look at the scoreboard and see who won the turnover battle, and that's probably the team that won the 1-score game. And so, again, just proud of the way our guys handled that and found a way to get us the win.
How did you think Dalton played relative?
Good. I felt good there. We'll obviously watch the tape and evaluate everybody, but I didn't have any issues.
Zac, you have a lot of young players step up big, rookies all contributing on defense. You talk about their play in a situation and in an environment like this?
Yeah, very calm, collected. That's what I saw. There was a time we had 2 young linebackers out there, 2 rookies out there when Logan came out. I'm watching just to see their body language. Didn't miss a beat, and so I think there's a lot of guys that fit that description. Shamar, all those guys that got in there, got a chance to play. It was not too big for any of them. That's why they're here, because they're all built like that. And so we're going to have to call on all these guys as the season progresses.
You talked for several months about how hard the coaching staff was going to work to get this team off to a good start.
Yeah.
So many changes. How satisfying is it to get it done?
Yeah, everything didn't go our way on every single play, but I truly believe our guys did nothing to beat ourselves, to allow us to beat ourselves in week 1. They just played discipline. They kept rising up to the occasion on defense. The offense made enough plays there, especially early on, to build us the lead to where now we can play this game. Many times I can think of when we lost here, we were playing from behind, and they were able to control the game as the game played out. So proud of the way that the offense started off and got us a lead there in the first half that allowed our defense to get their bearings straight and make some key stops for us. And that's a great way to win. You heard me preach it all last year. We got to play with a lead so we can play the right way in the second half, and this is a great example of that.
You had to run 3 timeouts to beat the clock. Was there an operation problem there? Or
Yeah.
changing the look?
No, all of them were a little bit different. And so, again, there's sometimes we feel like we're critical plays in the game where we want to make sure we get the best play possible. It's not ideal. That's not what we want to do. But all the times, really, Joe called a couple of them, which were all the correct decision. If he was going to talk to me about it in a meeting, what should I have done here? I would have said, let's not waste the play here. One of them. Anyway, I'm not going to get more into that, but that's not what we want to do. But he made the right decisions there.
What makes these games so challenging? It seems like every time you play them, no matter.
They're without getting too much into it. I mean, I got a lot of respect for their defensive coordinator. Makes things hard. He understands us. They have great talent on defense. And those guys play hard. They play with a lot of confidence. All the matchups, they do a really good job. They're all good football players. And it's just always a challenge when we play them. And thankful to have gotten their number the last couple times. Week 1 is always a challenge. You're always going to get the other team's best. You're always going to get the healthiest version of them. They got the healthiest version of us. And you're going to get their best right out the gate. And so you just got to find a way to win. And that's what our guys did.
What most impressed you about the defense today? The thing that stands out to you the most about the win?
The calmness, just the calmness. We got them in a lot of situations we wanted them in, get back on tracks. They got to some 3rd and shorts out of those long yardage situations. So I think that if that's an area we're going to watch, I think we can probably be a little bit better there with some of the tackling where they got some extra yards. But to, first of all, win the first down to get them into some of those situations, eliminate the run game, 2.0 yards a carry. I know that's the same as us. But if we're playing a game where our defense is doing that, I'm going to feel really good about the outcome.
Pinnell signs Monday. I think he played.
Who's that?
Pinnell signs
Yeah.
Monday. He's out there for 25-ish snaps. Just remarkable that you can jump in like that. What does that say about him?
He played, I think, 22 plays a game last year, in every single game all through the Super Bowl. Watched all of his training camp stuff, all of his preseason game stuff, and thought this is an easy decision to get this guy over here. So it wasn't like we're pulling somebody off the, like Dalton, who hasn't been putting pads on and playing a little bit. He's been practicing, and such an impressive, just right out the gate, great guy to have in the locker room.
The last 9 minutes you got the last 9 minutes you got some just unbelievable play from the front, and they seem to be in shape. They were in shape. It looked like they didn't bat an eye as far as conditioning or the weather.
For sure, pointing that out. I thought we had a great training camp. I thought our guys came out of it in shape and healthy, and it allows you to finish games like this on defense, like you said. So again, those guys did a great job being relentless and making the secondary's job a little bit easier to be able to create some of those turnovers and flush them out of the pocket and make life hard on them.
What went into the decision to get the ball in Chase Brown's hands as much as you did, especially early on?
He's a great playmaker for us, and so to be able to get the ball in space, he's usually the one in the pass game you're able to get the most space to, potentially, and so he's hard to bring down. But I just thought our guys did a great job firing off the ball early on in the run game. Our tight ends, our linemen, our perimeter receivers, we ask a lot of those guys, and they helped us set the tone and build that lead early on.
How much do you kind of feel Hendrickson's presence on some of those big plays by the defense?
Yeah, that's where this game comes down to. When you put them in known passing situations with the game on the line, that's where they got to count for Trey. And it's hard. When the game's on the line, to be able to put someone on his side every single time and call your best play, that's a challenge. I just went through it for feels like 8.5 hours. So that's a challenge. And so we in that outcome, we were able to be the team that was able to make it difficult on them, and that's a great way to win it for our defense.
You talked about the rookie specifically. The rookie, the linebackers, especially Demetrius and Burrow playing their first games. Against what the Browns had at tight end. It's gonna be a difficult matchup. How'd you like how they held up, especially Demetrius? Because it seemed like in the first half, Demetrius was all over the place.
Sure, that's what we've seen all training camp. And again, we'll evaluate it and make sure we see how everybody played and clean everything up. But I loved the energy from our guys, and they were lifting each other up. That's what I asked them last night. It's not all going to be perfect. Promise. There's going to be adversity. Lift each other up, and I felt that throughout the team. Everyone had confidence we're going to find a way to win, and that's what we got done.